you spoke about there was the CAMP methodology. For those who do not necessarily have as much background about it, or for even those that are familiar with it but may not know the history of it, could you just provide a little bit of background on CAMP as well, and specifically how your views about it just may have evolved over time?
Yeah. Initially, it started, in relation to what I was saying earlier, it started that, okay, how can we take the PMI framework, to be frank and honest, how can we take the PMI framework and convert it into a practical real-world methodology? That's how the idea started. Because unfortunately, PMI or other, if we look at the two largest project management associations today, PMI and IPMA, they don't offer a methodology. Most people think they offer a methodology. They think the PMBOK or the PMP is a methodology, but they're not. So that's how the idea started. And we start to come up with a real life, what would be a project life cycle look like. And we developed the first version back in 2007, 2008. And we published our first book on the subject in 2010. Later on, it evolved. We did version 2 in 2013, 2014, and currently we are on version 3, which is documented in a book called Project Management Beyond Waterfall and Agile that was published by CRC Press, which is part of the Taylor and Francis Publishing Group. And that was published in December 2017, exactly 4 years ago. And that book documents CAMP. And the way CAMP operates, the idea is that we use the word methodology because it's a set of methods. It's not a single method. In project management, sometimes we confuse the word methodology with method. In reality, a method is one thing, how to follow something, sequential 1, 2, 3, 4, where a methodology is a study of method. So this is why we use methodology in CAMP, because it's a study of methods. So we start with the standard method that consists of 3 phases, 9 stages, and 9 stage gates, which is a life cycle stage gate process model. And many people in industrial organization and the work on complex project, they understand the idea of life cycle management and stage gate process. Those who focus only on the delivery phase, maybe the development of a software project or the development of a product like a construction. So they are involved only in a stage of the project rather than the whole project from ideation to closure. They do understand the concept of life cycle stage gate process. Although sadly enough, a lot of organizations, including large organizations, do not use a properly well-defined stage gate process. And that was one of the drivers for us to develop what we did. So CAMP as a methodology, it takes you step by step to manage a project from idea. Now, the idea could come from strategic planning, could come from facility planning, could come from a group of investors, they want to launch a new company or a new startup, or a hotel chain, they want to go enter a new market somewhere else, or a restaurant, or a marketing campaign for a new car model, whatever the case might be. We can use tailored version of the methodology, right? So we start with the standard model and we can tailor it depend on the different type and size and class of the project. So the way CAMP works, start with an idea. And then what we say is that we have an initial stage called concept stage, where the company need to produce something called project brief that describe what is the project, why are we doing it, which is more like a justification and business case, and how does it align to the organization strategy, because we believe project must align with organization strategy. So when we are building CAMP, we're not only building the technical part, we're building the culture that we need to embed as well in organization in order to manage project effectively. So we have the first project brief and goes through a gate. And then we go through another stage we do called the feasibility stage, where we do a feasibility, where we assess the market, the challenges, the staffing, the resources, the schedule. There are many things we need to address to determine if the organization have the capability of delivering that project successfully. Unfortunately, a lot of projects fail because we don't do proper feasibilities. We don't assess whether we have the capability, whether it's money or resources or technology or market demand or whatever the case might be, to deliver this project successfully. And what I mean by deliver the project, I mean delivering the product at the end of the day and realizing the benefit that we anticipate to achieve. Many organizations fail to do that, and there are a lot of studies that shows most projects fail as a result of poor, what we call discovery phase, including the feasibility study. Now, I don't want to go through every step and every stage. Technically, then we go through other stages, and I'll quickly label them. We go through defining the requirement, exploring the stakeholder expectation. We go to a strategy stage and project management. We go to detailed planning, and then we go into implementation. Now, one thing is very important about CAMMP that many people might miss. The discovery phase often is done by the business, by strategic planning. So technically, we are integrating that where we integrate the project with the business. But then as we come toward closing the project, especially if it's a facility project, a new hotel, for example, there are a lot of operational preparedness activities that need to happen. Often, most organizations do not consider that part of project management. So most project management literature ignore the issues related to operation readiness, and have seen major mega projects happen where the facilities are ready, finished, right? But operation readiness is not ready yet. They still don't have licenses to permit to operate, or they don't have hired the staff enough, or they have not trained everybody, or whatever the case might be. So that is often enough and a delaying project, although because that operational part is done by some operation people that could be not part of the project team. And as a result, there is a lack of integration. In CAMMP, we include two stages related to operation. We include operational readiness stage, which is in parallel to the implementation work. So let's say we are talking about a hotel. While the hotel is being designed, engineered, and constructed, we have operation people in parallel working on decoration, the menus for the restaurant, hiring the staff, training the staff, developing the IT system, starting to organize awareness campaign and branding campaign and marketing campaign. All of these things could be happening in parallel to the construction effort that's going on. And when everything is ready, we hand over. We say, okay, now we are ready. The construction, the engineering team will hand over the facility to the operation people, where they go through initial operation period before they hand it over. So at the front end and throughout the project, but primarily at the front end, we integrate the project management with the business. And then during the work and at the end, we integrate the project with operation. And I think many methods in project management completely lack those two ends. They are strategically and critically important for success of project.
Thank you, Mounir. I think that provides a good